Welcome to the Short Funk Podcast. I'm Tom Barbalet. Today I'm a little bit under the weather, so apologies if these short funks seem a little scatterbrained, or these few, because I typically record them in bulk and then put them out. And the way I'm feeling currently, I just thought, I gotta get these short funks out, I just gotta record them, get them together. Today I wanted to talk about fake numbers. The technology industry is rife with fake numbers. In fact, a number of companies have been sold on to other companies for millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, in some strange cases, even billions of dollars, based on fake numbers. And when I say fake numbers, I mean that blogging companies are particularly rife here. They indicate that they have a certain number of blogs, most of which are created by bots, sometimes for pornography sites, sometimes for a wide variety of purposes, but there are automated ways that people can create thousands, tens of thousands of blogs to post to various things and to give an appearance of a large community, even when it's just one individual with one of these kind of blog rolling packages. And when one of these blogging companies wants to look important, they will say, but we have, 200, 400, 600 million users. That strikes me as just an astonishing claim. And here, blame has to be held towards the tech media community as well, because the fact that these stories propagate seems to indicate that no one side is watching the other side in a very profound way. The thing that strikes me about numbers is, particularly associated with technology, it's relatively difficult to actually identify a positive signal, identify an active user. The creation of something, the creation of 20-somethings, 1,000-somethings, what have you, doesn't indicate that there's an active user there. And certainly my experience associated with these things is that I will always return to active user numbers in my own experience. This is what interests me, the number of users that are using something within a 28-day period, for example. This seems to be the industry standard in terms of giving serious metrics. So sure, there might be, 600 million blogs out there in your particular package or what have you. But in terms of active users, that number is going to be considerably smaller. When the blogging phenomena first kicked off in 2003, 2004, I did some rough statistics on one of the central blog aggregators. That's a blogging site that posted every time blogs were updated. And I realized through that there were probably only about 30,000 active bloggers. Even though there were potentially millions, tens, hundreds of millions of blogs out there were only about 30,000 people that actively worked on their blogs, actively, communicated. And this was very strange to me because, and here is one of the lead instigators of these fake numbers, the Pew Research Institute. Would release these amazing numbers associated with the number of blogs. But if you actually return to how many active internet users there were, and moreover, there's typically 100 to 200 to 1 ratio between those that exist and the one person that actively wants to produce content. There are various ways to make this simpler. Obviously, if it's easier to publish content, then it's all very important. But typically, you will not have people creating content to the volume of active, interactive folk. People are, by essence, typically more interested in consuming content than they are in creating content. For this reason, I'm always very skeptical associated with websites that claim totals rather than current active users. And even within current active users, there's a wide variety of ways these metrics can be tarnished and moved. Really, from my perspective, and I've done this with regards to podcasts, I used to track unique IP addresses. I still track it. But there's no translation between unique IP addresses downloading content in a month and listeners. There might be a 5-to-1 ratio, there might be a 10-to-1 ratio, there might be a 20-to-1 ratio. Who knows? The claim is always, particularly from these entities that want to make money through these kind of numbers, that there's a close to 1-to-1 ratio, but certainly my investigation of this indicates there's probably far closer to 5 to maybe even 10-to-1 ratio of unique IP addresses versus listeners. How do you measure listeners as well? Do you have active listeners? Do you have active participants? I think these kind of things are fuzzy at best. But whenever I hear total number of users or all these kind of weasel words around the fact that they're not looking at current active users, they're trying to get this number bigger and bigger and bigger by any means necessary so they can be acquired in the future. When I see this kind of stuff, I'm a little concerned. Mathematics, studying statistical probabilities, these kind of things, all very dangerous when you want to live in a world that is so far removed from these kind of concepts. Tom Barbalet in San Jose, signing out.